Master Phil here, and it's time to get into Master Phil mode with the 6 top kettlebell exercises for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. As a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt myself, as well as a lifetime martial artist and grappler, I often get asked, what are the best exercises to improve my Jiu-Jitsu game? Well, I love simplicity. And you know what? Although there are many different strength and conditioning modalities out there, nothing quite gives you the best bang for the buck as the kettlebell. So here are my top 6 exercises to improve your jiu-jitsu game. Movement number 1, the get-up, also known as the Turkish Get-up. Now, this exercise has a hip hinge in it, it has a press, and it also has a lunge. And there are many NFL teams that have thrown out the bench press as a barometer for strength and using the kettlebell get-up as the barometer for overall strength. So let's see how to do this. There are 6 basic positions, and you don't want to rush through any of them. You want to hold the position for a count, at least. So I assume the fetal position, take my hand here, I pull the kettlebell into my chest. I spread my feet out, this heel as close as possible to my buttocks. I press the bell up. My knuckles are facing the ceiling, my wrist is straight, my elbow is locked, my shoulder is packed. I karate chop the floor. I roll to my elbow, pause. I roll to my hand, pause. This is called the tall sit. This heel is on the floor, this hand is on the floor. I push into both of them. And now I get into this position. Notice here how there's an L on the floor. My heel, foot, knee, and hand. They're all in line. Now I hip hinge, rock back, and windshield wipe my foot. If you have to adjust your lead foot, it's fine. Notice I'm up on my toes here. I'm going to drive off of that foot. I drive up and stand tall. I smack my leg, so I know I'm gonna step back with this foot and bring myself in control down to my knee. I hip hinge, windshield wipe, and slide my hand onto the floor, looking up at the bell the whole time. Swing my leg through, roll to my elbow, and then roll to my back in control, not dropping or slamming. I bring the bell safely into my shoulder. Now I bring it around my head and go to the other side. So I'll give you an opposite side view. Rolling in. Heel is on the floor. Foot is close to the buttocks. Press up. Knuckles to the ceiling. Wrist, elbow, shoulder. Karate chop the floor. Roll to my elbow. Go up to my hand. I'm keeping the bell in my eye. Post and swing through. So right here, see my hand, my knee, my foot, all in one line. I hip hinge, tall kneel. Now my gaze is level with the horizon. I stand up. Smack my leg, pull it back down. Windshield wipe, hip hinge, and slide my hand off my knee. See, I slide it off. I don't drop it and put it to the side somewhere, so I'll be out of alignment. Swing my leg through. My shoulder's corkscrewed in. I'm not here, it's corkscrewed in. I pull myself down, and I roll across to my back. Bring the kettlebell into my shoulder, roll to the side. And that is move number 1, the kettlebell get-up. Movement number 2, the dual bell uneven kettlebell swing. The reason that I like to do uneven kettlebells, especially for my combat training, is because very rarely is life in combat completely distributed evenly across both sides of the body. So when I'm doing uneven kettlebells, I'm bringing this neural factor and I'm shocking my nervous system, and that helps stimulate strength and also helps prepare me for when I'm in a precarious position. So take 2 kettlebells, and you want to have at least a difference of 2 kettlebells in size here. This one with a white stripe is a 28 kilogram and the other one's a 24 kilogram. There is one that's a 26, which would be between them. So whenever you're using 2 kettlebells and you're doing any ballistics, ballistics are your swings, your snatches, your cleans, high pulls, and the like. You want to start them off with a V configuration with the backs of my hands facing each other. So I'm going to pull myself back into position. I root with the ground. I'm going to bring my kneecaps up into my quads. I'm going to tighten my butt, tighten my gut, and bring my ribs down, creating this cylinder of power. I'm packing my shoulders and engaging my lats, and the trajectory of the energy of the bell will be forward. Now, the difficult thing to do is to keep everything even with 2 different sized kettlebells. And the effect on the body is just awesome. So I'm here. Pack the shoulders, engage the lats, root with the floor. Pull the bells in. 2, 2, 2. Exhale on the hip pop. 2, 2. Once you've done your prescribed amount of reps, 5 to 10, I'll switch sides. Go the other way. This one it gets real funky, guys. 2, 2. Try to keep those bells even as we drive the hips. And that is move number 2, the dual bell, uneven kettlebell swing. Movement number 3, the uneven kettlebell front squat. Now, as with the uneven kettlebell swing, I want to get the same effect. But now, as opposed to doing it with a ballistic, as I did with the dual uneven kettlebell swing, we'll be doing it with a dual uneven kettlebell squat, but the squat is more of a grind. However, though, if you do plyometric front squats, it becomes more explosive and ballistic. But we'll show the grind version. So again, I take 2 kettlebells of different sizes, and there's 2 in between them. This is a 24 kg. This is a 20 kg. I rack them into position. 2. You don't want to come here with them hold together. I still want them to be separate, so I have to work on my rack here. So when I'm pulling in, I'm working my lats and my grip as well. And also helps with my posture. Pull myself down deep. And up. Get that full range of motion on your squat. All the way down, all the way up. Side view. Pull myself down and push up. Keeping the heels on the ground. Don't ever go up on your toes here. If you find yourself rocking forward, pick your toes up off the mat and pull yourself down. Once you're done with the prescribed amount of repetitions, repeat the process and switch the bells in your hands. Move number 3, the uneven dual kettlebell front squat. Move number 4, the kettlebell snatch. Kettlebell snatch is, it's one of my favorite all-time exercises. Why? Muscular endurance. I'm working my grips and my hips. You can get cardiovascular conditioning with this as well. And it just ties the whole body together. So the kettlebell snatch, as with all ballistics, when we start from the ground, we put it on its edge. And a kettlebell snatch is a pull and a punch. So I'm going to pull the bell up and punch it through the ceiling. And when I'm doing this, I don't want to have my arm straight. I want to have a slight bend to my elbow. Slight. Like I'm zipping up a coat. Because if I have it out here, I'll be hoisting the bell and smashing my wrists and doing all kinds of ugly things. So, grab the bell, put it on its edge, prepping my hips. See, my hips are prepped. I pull back. Again, as with the swing, I'm rooting with the floor. See, my toes are grabbing the floor. I hike it back, breathe, and it's important to breathe on the hip pop, not while it's up here. So right in the beginning of doing your snatching, always get used to breathing on the hip pop. All ballistics, breathe on the hip pop. See the pull and the punch? Like I'm zipping up a coat. Pull, punch. Pull, punch. Hike it back, elbow deep, pull, punch. Bend to the knees, hip hinge, my hips escape. Show you a front view. You only need your feet wide enough to accommodate the swing of the bell. You don't want to have them so wide like this. It's going to be hard to engage your hips properly. Inhale at the top. Hike it back, punch it. Lock it out. Kettlebell snatch. You don't want to go super heavy on this exercise because you want to get reps. Movement number 4, kettlebell snatch. Movement number 5, the Renegade Row. The Renegade Row is great for establishing top control. So when you're pushing down, trying to hold down your opponent, we're working on our lats, even our pec strength, and our core here. So watch on the Renegade Row. And you have to have the technique dialed in. We're very specific here. So put the bells relatively close together. And when you shift from bell to bell, you want to make sure your hips and your shoulders stay in line so they're in the same plane as with the floor. Shoulders, hips, floor. You don't want to be twisting like this. You're defeating the purpose of the exercise. If you can't do it yet, go lighter, okay? And work on your rows and planks. So, Renegade Row. With the feet closer together, it makes it more difficult. With the feet out wider, it makes it a little easier. And I always say, start at shoulder width and either move in or out in accordance with your ability with any of these kettlebell exercises. So I'm right here. So notice I'm gonna push down hard. If I'm gonna pick up the left kettlebell, I'm gonna push down hard into my right hand and hard into my left foot. And tighten everything up and row. Then switch sides and row. Keeping my shoulders and hips in the same plane. You don't want to see this stuff. This is not what we're doing here. It's not the point of the exercise. I want to impose my will on this person underneath me. So I want to develop and enhance my strength in that position. So I'm right here, boom, pull. Pull. I'm pushing with the one hand, pulling with the other, maintaining my hips and shoulders in the same position. So that's move number 5, the Renegade Row. Movement number 6, the bottoms up kettlebell press. This particular movement really accentuates the grip as well as positioning the arm for proper pressing technique. And with most presses, a lot of guys wind up hurting their shoulders with it, but this press actually helps rehabilitate the shoulder, because there's no room for error here. because the bell is upside down, and you're also, it forces you to engage your lat. So here's what I'm talking about. So I'm gonna grasp this bell, hoist it into position. Normally, I come like this when I clean, swing, or whatever to get the bell up into a rack. But here, I'm going to take the kettlebell up like this. I usually don't like using this movement because, as we all know, this is like I'm armbar myself. But I'm not gonna hike very deep on this because I'm just using this to get the kettlebell into position. And when I'm up here, it's very important to engage my core, squeeze the butt. So when you're training, try this once in a while and don't engage your core, your butt, and see how well you do with holding this bell over your head. So I'm right here, grasp the bell, hike it back, and pull into my rack position. I keep my eye on the bell as I press up. And pull it back down, all the way in so my elbow's seated into my ribs. And push it back up. And bring it back down. Push it up. And bring it down. That is the bottoms up kettlebell press. So these are my top 6 moves to help improve your Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu game through kettlebell training. Good luck with your training, and as always, Master Phil here, strength and honor.